Okay, welcome to ACT Worksheet 215, Drawn to Scale and Measure Problems. This worksheet is exactly what it says at the top. So this will be one of the quickest videos because what I'm about to show you is very intuitive, yet something that a lot of students will be afraid to do and hesitant to do. I know figures are not drawn to scale on the GCSEs. I know on A levels they're not drawn to scale. You have to do things by the book. You have to go step by step through the algebra or through the geometry in order to get the correct solution. That is not the case on the ACTs nor on the SATs. The ACTs says figures may not be drawn to scale. You can't assume. I've found, having done over 50 of these tests, that they're pretty much always drawn to scale. I've really never seen otherwise unless they specify. And I will say this, if you're stuck on a problem and you're really not sure what to do, you might as well assume that it's drawn to scale and see how far it gets you. At least get an educated guess rather than having 5 problems to select from. I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to show you 2 problems that come towards the end of their respective tests. So these are problems that you'd see in the last 10 that most people would not get. And I'm going to show you the easy drawn to scale way to do them. Okay. And then I'll show you the actual way as well. But I'm going to emphasize drawn to scale. And I would say when you do this packet, try to get every problem just measuring, then follow it up and see if you can get it kind of the standard way. And compare the two and just get familiarity and comfort with using logic and thinking kind of outside of the linear way of just doing the math. Anyway, let me show you number 9. In the figure below, ACD is a right triangle, B lies on AC, all this is shown to us, and the measures of DAC and DBC are given. The length is 30 and 45. The length of AB is 10 yards. What is the approximate measure of CD? Okay, you won't have a ruler on the test. And most likely, if you don't have accommodations or extra time, you'll be taking this on a computer screen. But you can take a piece of paper. You can take if they give you a piece of paper, or you can take like a whiteboard tablet, like a dry erase tablet, and you can hold it up to your screen. And I know that sounds weird, but from here to here is 10. Okay. If we look at this, and if we kind of mark this off on a piece of paper and then held it up to the screen, I can't really demo it, we'd probably see that 10 gets us to about here, maybe. If we were to take A, B, and flip it, we maybe get to about there. Okay, well, first off, we know C to D is definitely not 3.7. It's definitely not 4.1. And it's definitely not over, it's definitely not double 10 and then some. So it's definitely not that. So just by knowing that this is drawn to scale, it's going to be C or D. So now I'll show you how to know 100%. But I'm telling you that if you really aren't sure, don't leave it to a 20% chance. Make it a 50% chance. Here's probably the fastest way to do this one, and I don't think a lot of people watching this are necessarily familiar with these proportions, but they are very important for the test. So a 30, 60, 90 triangle is, and I'll highlight this in yellow, the proportions are x, or the smallest side is across from the 30. Across from the 60, which is right here of this big triangle, is going to be x root 3. So root 3 times whatever this is. And then across from the 90 is 2x. Okay, so those are the proportions of a 30, 60, 90. A 45, 45, 90 is x, x, and then this would be x root 2. But this x root 2 is irrelevant for this problem. So anyway, just by knowing that, we know that 10 plus x is equal to x root 3, and now we can solve for x. So what we're going to have is 10 is equal to x root 3 minus x. Well, let's see what that is. It's going to get you like 0.732, about 0.732 root 3. Divide 0.732 into 10, and you're going to get 13.66, about. So that's what x would be. So anyway, you had a 50% chance just by understanding that it's drawn to scale. Let me show you an even harder problem. This is a problem where it's funny. When it came out, at my old office, we're all got the answer, and we got it just by knowing that it was drawn to scale, and it wasn't that difficult. No, once we said, okay, the figure is drawn to scale. But then there was kind of a little bit of a race to figure out how to actually do it by the book. And if we were taking a time test where we had maybe max, I mean, it's 1 minute per problem. This is a harder problem. So maybe max you'd have 2 or 3 minutes for it if you were really fortunate. But none of us got it by the book in under 3 minutes. So I'll really show you the power of drawing a scale on this problem. So, and feel free to pause it and try it out however way you want to, but I'm going to keep on going. So as shown below, 2 circular pulleys with centers 8 inches apart are connected with a tight belt. The belt wraps 2/3 of the way around the larger pulley, which has a radius of 5 inches, and 1/3 of the way around the smaller pulley, which has a radius of 1 inch. What is the exact length of the belt in inches? Okay, so the circumference of this big circle is 2 pi r. R is 5, so it's going to be 10 pi. The belt wraps 2/3 of the way around, so times 2/3. So what we get is 20 pi over 3 is, and I'll do it in yellow, is this amount of the pulley. Let's do this other amount right here. So radius is 1. That means that the circumference, 2 pi r, is going to be 2 pi. But we only want 1/3 of this pulley. It only wraps 1/3 of the way around. So 2 pi times 1/3 is going to be 2 pi over 3. So together, the parts that wrap around the pulleys are 22 over 3, the circle part of the pulleys. Okay, so that tells us immediately it's not C, D, or A. Here's the tricky part. We still need to figure out the green. So we need to figure out, I'll call this A, I'll call this B. We need to figure out A plus B. So interestingly, from here to here is 8, right? From the center of one circle to the center of the other circle is 8. Well, if I'm going to lay down B and I'm going to lay down A back to back, they're clearly more than 8. So we know that the yellows are 22 pi over 3, and we just need to figure out what the greens are, but we know they're more than 8 because we know from here to here is 8. So it's B, they're 8 root 3. There is an official way to do it. I'm not going to bother going into it in this video because I really just want you to buy into the idea of just using logic. In fact, I challenge you to try to figure out how to get it, see how long it takes you. If you can get it by the book in under 3 minutes, great. Forget I even told you drawing the scale. If you can't, then you're going to want to do this packet. Okay. Anyway, good luck with your studies, and feel free to return for any other videos. All right.